The pen trembled in her husband's hand as he signed the divorce papers, but not because he was afraid of losing her. He was smiling as if he had finally freed himself from something embarrassing, something beneath him. Across the polished oak table of the law office, she sat quietly, her fingers folded in her lap, her eyes lowered not in defeat but in exhaustion. He laughed under his breath, calling her naive, calling her useless, reminding everyone in the room that she had never earned a cent in her life. What he didn't know, what he never cared to know, was that the quiet woman he mocked controlled a hidden trust worth over $1 billion. And in just a few hours, everything he believed about power, pride, and worth would collapse around him. Before we continue, if you believe in kindness, in second chances, and in the quiet strength of those who endure humiliation with grace, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel, Kindness Story. Your support keeps these powerful stories alive. Her name was Alara Whitmore, though after marriage she had taken the name Alara Vance and slowly, piece by piece, surrendered her identity along with it. She had met Daniel Vance 12 years earlier when she was a university student studying art history, and he was a young, ambitious financial consultant with a talent for speaking confidently about money he did not yet have. She fell in love with his certainty. He fell in love with her softness. At least, that was how it seemed in the beginning. Alara had grown up in a modest countryside estate, raised by her grandmother after her parents passed away in a quiet plane accident when she was 10. What she did not know at the time was that her parents had quietly invested in emerging technologies and renewable energy companies long before the world recognized their potential. Those investments were placed into a complex trust, managed by a discreet international. When she married Daniel at 23, she carried nothing but a suitcase of clothes, a small inheritance from her grandmother, and a heart full of devotion. Daniel admired her beauty at first, her quiet elegance, her thoughtful eyes, but admiration slowly turned into irritation. He built his career aggressively, measuring success by the size of his office and the brand of his watch. He wanted a wife who dazzled at corporate events, who spoke about investments and impressed his clients. Alara preferred conversations about literature, about community projects, about how to help the local shelter that was always short on funding. Over time, Daniel began introducing her as, "my wife. She doesn't really work." The phrase stung, but she smiled politely. She tried to start a small art program for underprivileged children, funding it with what little personal savings she had. When Daniel discovered she had donated money instead of investing it, he called her financially illiterate. He began controlling the household expenses, giving her an allowance like she was a careless teenager. The emotional erosion was slow but relentless. At dinner parties, he corrected her mid-sentence. In private, he mocked her lack of ambition. When his business faced temporary setbacks, he blamed her for distracting him with what he called charity fantasies. Alara endured it because she believed love meant patience. She believed marriage meant weathering storms. By the time she turned 34, Daniel had become a partner at his firm. His confidence had hardened into arrogance. He purchased a penthouse apartment in the city, insisting it was his achievement alone. Alara moved through those glass halls like a ghost, tending to a marriage that had long since stopped tending back. The breaking point came on an evening that should have been celebratory. Daniel had hosted a lavish party for his colleagues after closing a major deal. Alara wore a simple navy dress, understated but elegant. She